What if the line between our world and another was not just thin, but intricately etched onto a wooden face, painted on clay, or cast in jade? What if, throughout human history, certain objects served as potent conduits, blurring the very fabric of reality with the mystical, allowing humanity to glimpse, or even enter, realms beyond our immediate comprehension? Welcome to Echoes of Time, your portal to the forgotten pages of history. Here, we reveal the secrets that lie under the dust of centuries and tell the stories that never made it into the history books. Today, we journey into an enigma that has fascinated, terrified, and profoundly shaped human spiritual life for millennia: the ancient mask. These aren't just artifacts, they are silent sentinels of the past, whispering tales of forbidden rituals, spiritual communion, and profound transformation. Their very existence challenges our understanding of reality, suggesting a world where the boundaries of self and spirit were not as defined as they are today. The questions they pose are as old as humanity itself. What profound secrets do these enigmatic objects truly conceal, and how did they come to hold such awe-inspiring and sometimes terrifying power? From the earliest dawn of civilization, across continents and cultures separated by vast oceans and immeasurable time, humanity has turned to the mask. It is a universal language, spoken in carved wood, painted clay, hammered metal, and polished stone. Each dialect articulating a profound connection to the unseen. These objects, far from being mere adornments or decorative pieces, were once considered living entities, imbued with sacred energy, crafted with profound intention, and often reserved for the most sacred and, indeed, the most forbidden rites. They are the keys to understanding ancient belief systems, the gateways to spiritual landscapes, and perhaps the ultimate mirror reflecting humanity's deepest aspirations and fears. They stand as enduring testimonies to a human impulse to transcend the mundane, to bridge the chasm between the physical and the metaphysical, and to engage directly with the forces believed to govern existence. Consider the vibrant, intricate ceremonial masks of indigenous African tribes. These weren't simply costumes worn during a dance, they were the very embodiment of ancestors and deities. When a wearer donned such a mask, they ceased to be themselves. They became a vessel, a living conduit through which the spirit world could manifest, walk among the living, and impart wisdom, judgment, or blessing. The artistry was not for aesthetic pleasure alone, but to perfectly capture the essence of the entity being invoked, ensuring a seamless, potent connection. Imagine the awe, the reverence, and the trembling fear that must have swept through a community as a masked figure, pulsating with ancestral energy, moved through their midst. A direct link to the lineage, to the very source of their being, reinforcing communal identity and spiritual continuity. These masks were not representations, they were presences, a tangible bridge across the veil between worlds. Travel across vast stretches of land and time to the desolate sands of ancient Egypt, and a different yet equally profound masked tradition emerges. Here, we encounter the stark, haunting beauty of death masks. Crafted not for vibrant ritual, but for eternal repose, these were designed to protect the deceased in the perilous journey through the afterlife. A death mask, often a meticulously sculpted likeness of the deceased, was believed to preserve the identity of the individual spirit, the Ka, ensuring its recognition by the gods and its safe passage to the fields of Aru. Whether made of painted cartonnage for commoners or hammered gold for pharaohs, these masks were powerful spiritual tools, a final, essential step in a complex ritual aimed at achieving immortality. They represented hope, protection, and the unwavering belief in a continuation of existence beyond the mortal coil.
acting as a spiritual anchor in the transition from one state of being to the next. Journey further still to the lush, vibrant heartlands of Mesoamerican cultures. Here, masks of jade and obsidian, crafted with exquisite skill, were not only reserved for royal burials, ensuring the perpetual power of the elite, but were also central to powerful, sometimes terrifying, blood rituals. These masks, often depicting jaguars, eagles, or deities, were donned by priests and rulers to embody the divine, to communicate with the pantheon, and to participate in rituals believed to sustain the cosmos itself. The act of wearing such a mask during a blood sacrifice, an act of profound spiritual significance, would have transformed the wearer, elevating them from mortal to a temporary, potent manifestation of the sacred.
The materials themselves, jade, prized for its life-giving properties, and obsidian, sharp enough to cut flesh, speak volumes about the profound reverence and spiritual power invested in these objects, used in rites that were both sacred and undeniably forbidden to the uninitiated. From the sun-drenched jungles, traversed to the frozen tundras of Siberia, where shamans donned animalistic visages, masks crafted from bone, fur, and wood, to traverse spirit worlds. These masks were not just disguises, they were instruments of metamorphosis, allowing the shaman to shed their human form and embody the spirit of the bear, the wolf, or the owl, gaining their primal wisdom and strength. Through the mask, the shaman could journey into non-ordinary reality, seeking healing, guidance, or knowledge from the spirits, acting as an intermediary between the human and spiritual realms. The very act of putting on such a mask was an entry into an altered state of consciousness, a deliberate crossing of boundaries, a profound commitment to interacting with forces beyond the visible spectrum of existence. They were the key to unlocking the power of the wild and harnessing it for the benefit of the community. And in the birthplace of Western theater, ancient Greece, masks took on yet another fascinating dimension. Here, they were not merely props for performance, but vital instruments connecting actors with the divine narratives of their gods. Each mask represented a specific character, a deity, or an archetype, allowing the actor to shed their individual identity and fully embody the essence of the role. This transformation was not just for the audience's benefit, it was a spiritual act. The mask facilitated a connection to the divine narratives, allowing both performer and spectator to experience the myths not as distant stories, but as living, breathing realities. It enabled a direct, immersive engagement with the profound moral and spiritual dilemmas presented by the tragedies and comedies, fostering a collective understanding of their place within the cosmic order. These diverse examples, spanning millennia and continents, reveal a consistent underlying truth. Ancient masks were never mere adornments. They were, in the most profound sense, living entities, imbued with sacred energy, crafted with profound intention, and often reserved for the most sacred and, indeed, the most forbidden rites. They were not static objects, but dynamic interfaces, designed to facilitate interaction with forces beyond human ken. The power they wielded was immense, shaping entire cultures and guiding the spiritual lives of humanity for countless generations. They existed at the very nexus of art, ritual, and belief, a testament to humanity's enduring quest for meaning and connection. But herein lies the enduring mystery, the question that continues to challenge anthropologists, archaeologists, and cultural historians alike. What exactly was the nature of this profound power? Were these masks truly gateways, literal conduits allowing spirits to manifest, to walk and speak among the living, making the unseen seen and the unheard heard? Or did they serve as powerful psychological tools, transforming the wearer not by external spiritual infusion, but by internal psychological shift, influencing both individual and collective consciousness in profound ways?
Some anthropologists, delving into the social structures of ancient societies, argue that masks were primarily instruments of social control. By embodying revered ancestors or terrifying deities, masked figures could reinforce hierarchies, enforce traditions, and maintain social order through perceived divine authority. The fear and awe inspired by a masked figure speaking with the voice of the ancient ones or the gods would have been a powerful deterrent against transgression, ensuring compliance and solidarity within the community. In this view, the mask becomes a tool of power wielded by the elite or religious leaders to govern the populace, cementing their own position within the social framework. The ritual becomes a performance of power, a demonstration of control over both the material and spiritual worlds. Yet another school of thought contends that the function of masks was far more deeply spiritual and transformative. They argue that these objects facilitated deep spiritual communion, enabling wearers to achieve altered states of being. Through rigorous preparation, ecstatic dance, rhythmic drumming, and the transformative act of donning the mask, individuals could transcend ordinary consciousness, bridging the divide between the seen and the unseen. In these altered states, the wearer might genuinely experience union with the divine, receive visions, or journey into spiritual dimensions seeking wisdom, healing, or guidance. For these scholars, masks were not about control, but about liberation, a temporary release from the confines of human identity to experience a broader, more profound reality. They were instruments of inner exploration, designed to unlock latent spiritual capabilities and foster genuine transcendence.
And then, there is yet another compelling perspective that views masks as profound artistic expressions, rich with symbolic meaning. In this view, masks were intricate visual narratives telling complex mythologies and reinforcing cultural identity through tangible, wearable art. They distilled the essence of a culture's beliefs, its heroes, its monsters, and its cosmology into a single powerful form. While facilitating connection to ancestral wisdom and cosmic forces, they also served as powerful didactic tools, passing down stories, values, and knowledge from one generation to the next. The artistry itself, the choice of materials, the specific motifs, the colors used, all contributed to a complex symbolic language, understood and revered by the community, solidifying their shared heritage and spiritual understanding. Here, the mask is a living tapestry of culture, continually rewoven with each ritual. The debate continues, a fascinating intellectual struggle to unravel the true nature of these enigmatic objects. Were they revered objects of transformation, instruments of fear, or perhaps both? The truth, as is often the case with humanity's deepest mysteries, may lie in the interplay of these interpretations, shifting and evolving with each culture and context.
The lines between spiritual belief, psychological impact, and social function are often blurred, interwoven into a seamless tapestry of human experience. What is undeniable is that masks were, and in some cultures still are, central to humanity's relationship with the sacred, with power, and with the very definition of identity. As we peel back the layers of time, the enduring mystery of ancient masks continues to fascinate and challenge our understanding of humanity's deepest spiritual impulses. They force us to confront questions about the nature of reality, the boundaries of the self, and the persistent human yearning to connect with something larger than ourselves. They stand as silent witnesses to countless rituals, both breathtakingly beautiful and undeniably forbidden, revealing a profound belief system that animated the lives of our ancestors. The artistry, the ritual, the profound beliefs that gave life to these silent sentinels of the past, they are not just echoes from history, but a reflection of our own enduring spiritual quest. They beckon us to look beyond the material, to question the boundaries of the known, and to ponder the astonishing complexity of the human spirit, What might these ancient faces still be trying to tell us about ourselves and the timeless search for meaning in an uncertain world?